Oh wait. Okay. I have to I'm cleaning stuff that I can't show on YouTube, so I have to turn my camera off for YouTube, and I'm restarting my kick stream. I'm sorry, I love you. Oh no, wait, I don't have to restart my kick stream. Oh no, yeah, I do. Sorry. I'm sorry. Wow, hey, what's up?
Hello, hello?
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
What's up? You're gonna trigger me like that. What's up? Can I use a camera though? I have it on now. Or do you not want to?
Yeah, if you want to, sure, why not? Okay.
Great. What's up? My ass was on fire listening to this conversation. Wait a second. Oh, it works.
Wow, nice job.
Yes. Hello, hello, Mr. Banel. Things happened last time we spoke. Since last time we spoke, to be honest. Yeah. So, without talking about the things that happened, let's talk about the things, if you have time, that going on about my country and MAGA, because I cannot anymore have... Hello, everyone, by the way. It's just, like, I don't know, is it the lack of historical context people have in America? Richard pisses me off to no end because I feel betrayed, okay? I feel betrayed because I liked him first time I saw him, and he also has a cute ghoul face, which is kryptonite for me. Like everyone who has this like ghoulish cutesy look, both weird and cute, I just immediately like them. So he betrayed me, okay? He betrayed me personally.
Okay.
But on that note, I just don't understand. Like, how farther along you are in your research of World War II shit? You're like studying upon it.
How further along?
Yeah, where are you at with your research? Have you like finished reading that book?
Oh no, so we're just
like...
unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess I don't know. I have a book called The Rise of the Third Reich that has to do with basically Hitler and all that. So that's what we're on right now. But I mean, I think coming up to I think we're like kind of in the 1920s, basically.
Yeah, so you haven't got like to the place I want you to get, but my broader like point is just this situation right now is just literally 1938, like exactly. Like it's just so basically what happened with like Sudene or like Sudetenland, I think you call it, is exactly what is going on now with Ukraine, because Hitler, right, and Nazi Germany, they essentially made the argument towards Britain and France that Czechoslovakia wasn't a real country at the end of the day. They aren't really like a real nation. They're a made-up nation, which is exactly the argument Putin gave, by the way. And then they were like, we have Germans there, like ethnic Germans, and they're being discriminated. They are being prosecuted because they're German speakers, which was not true, by the way. Just as it isn't true now with the Russian speakers in the East. So the exact same thing. And they were like, we want Sudetenland. We want to take it back. We want to protect our German speakers, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And Czechoslovakia was like, well, no, fuck you. Like, we ain't gonna do that. We don't want to give, like, piece of our land to Germans for no fucking reason. And France and Britain, our lads, our best pals, they have our back and they will, defend us. Meanwhile, you have Munich Agreement, which, by the way, Czechs call Munichska zrada, which means Munich betrayal, appropriate name. And France and UK are like, you know what? Like, Czechoslovakia isn't really like worth it. Like, fuck that shit. Like, who cares? Them Eastern Europeans, like subhuman shit. Like, who cares about that? So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna give Hitler Czechoslovakia that piece of Sudetenland. And then we're gonna make him promise that he will not invade Czechoslovakia further, that he will just be satisfied with this piece where Germans live, right? So Czechs are like, excuse me, like this doesn't seem like a good deal. And France is like, UK is like, who cares? What do you think, bitch? So they did do it, right? And Germans invaded, essentially took Sudetenland, and Czechs had to agree to this guarantee of their, that they will not invade further alone, because, well,
but they stopped after that, right? So it was okay?
Exactly. Yeah, they stopped and everything was cool and everything worked out and history didn't turn completely to shit. So what happened next, of course, actually, is that, Hitler took Czechoslovakia. Infamously, then Chamberlain, all of that was just, oh, fuck, he did go further. Wow, who would have thought? Yeah, and not only that, by the way, is that not only did he took the rest of Czechoslovakia, he also got access to the best armaments in Europe at the time, which were made in Czechoslovakia.
And the part that they took over,
yes, the rest of the country. They wanted it. From the get-go, they wanted the access to the armaments. They needed them for their further invasion of Poland, which is exactly what happened. So, as you know, you did Israel stuff a lot, and even Israel used to buy like Czechoslovakia-made weapons because they were so high quality.
Yeah, they shipped a lot of them.
They were so high quality and they were very well produced, and there was like massive factories of building armaments. I'm not sure exactly, but I think about 30-40 armaments percentage of what Germans used later on was Czech. So they got access to that, and they also used Slovaks in particular to further invade Poland. So they enriched their army force and they enriched them in the armament department. And then they used that as a platform to invade Poland jointly with the Soviet Union, with Stalin, because they made agreement with Russia as well. So that's the history that everyone should know, perhaps.
Yeah. Wait, I gotta run and grab a rag from the other room. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
Okay. Hello, people. It's been a while, okay? Things happened. If I seem as mad, that's because I am. I apologize in advance if I seem really angry, because I truly am. And it's been a... damn, dude. Things occurred, but yeah, look at that, though. Still have it. Yeah.
Okay, hi.
I said things. Anyhow, so that's the history that is almost like, it's so identical actually that it's kind of scary how identical it is. And also of course the people, for example, like Timothy Snyder, they make arguments like that we are now stuck in 1938, that is prolonged because Czechoslovakia decided to fight this time. And this is us, like Ukraine, because obviously we're like much bigger, and there are other reasons why that are cultural and things like that, right? But at the end of the day, what we all need to learn about that is that never trust fucking security guarantees from Westerners, never. In Eastern Europe, just never do it. Don't think that it will ever work. We have Budapest Memorandum, as you know, as well, and fuck us, I guess, again. So the number of times we have been fucked over is just, it's too difficult to count. You don't have enough fingers to count.
Yeah. Or like I'll say, to be a little bit more clear on that, security guarantees are good, but security like, I promise I'll help is not good, right? Like in any security guarantee, it has to be written in like, if this happens, there will be these consequences, not just like, we promise nobody will do anything, which is what all the Budapest Memorandums are.
Yeah, because in the Budapest Memorandum, UK, France, Russia, not France, UK, Russia, and United States were like, we promise that we are gonna do like defend. Their sovereignty will be protected, integrity will be protected, your territorial integrity. But we promise. It's trust me, bro situation basically. So there wasn't like exactly what will you do if that happens? Will you like actually like assist us in what way? There was no conditions spoken of there, and kind of similar with Czechoslovakia situation with Munich as well, because France and UK at the time were supposed to be like the big pals, the guarantees of Czechoslovakia, but in the exact same way. So like we don't really promise anything concrete. It is exactly why Zelenskyy currently is trying to get those concrete guarantees, because otherwise We don't need a fucking agreement. We don't need a United States to help us surrender. We
Yeah.
can do it on our own. We can capitulate right now, actually. We can do it this very fucking second. We can go and be like, Putin, fuck us in the ass. We're ready, my man. We don't care at this point, right? Stop the fighting. Everything is chill. Take literally everything you want. And no NATO, no European Union, no security guarantees from the West whatsoever. And if you feel like it, of course, you can also fuck the rest of countries when you're ready to.
Yeah.
So that's what we are going to be signing on. And excuse us, okay? Excuse us for the first time in the history of this country trying to actually stand up for ourselves and demand something better than we usually get in Eastern Europe, in particular in Ukraine. My only fear, biggest fear, was not US cutting off aid, which I kind of thought would happen when Trump won. I kind of like accepted that, to be honest with you, like when he just won. And so, but it was Zelenskyy caving in. It was him accepting the terms, no matter how shit they are, and basically condemning us all, especially us eastern parts, to absolute disaster, okay? And the future of like massacres that will happen later on again.
Yeah.
And what Putin actually wants, that literally nobody fucking talks about, besides, I guess, you just now tried to make that point with Richard, is that he wants to have three things, really, like the most. One is he wants to keep all the territory he has now. And he also demanded, ironically, to have Kherson back, which they lost.
Okay.
It's truly fabulous to demand that the city you actually lost militarily, but try to make us concede through the pressure through the West. It's just United States in particular, just truly glorious position to be in. And that's what they want, of course. Kherson is a major city. They want a major city to show to their population, because Mariupol is a destroyed pile of junk. So it's not like that impressive, I suppose.
Yeah.
And they want that. They want that. What more they will demand, only fuck knows, honestly, at this point. But that's one thing. Second thing, no NATO for Ukraine, obviously, and no strong security guarantees from basically anyone.
Yeah.
So not just the United States, but like basically anyone. Which
and there are also, just real quick, there are other dimensions that, and you know how like sometimes when you want to have a good conversation, you can't because you're stuck talking about all the super retarded shit? Like there are other dimensions of this that you can't even get close to talking about, which is the inability for anybody in the West who is on Trump's side on this, even acknowledging how all of the conflicts started. Because the problem that you run into is, let's say that everybody goes through with all these agreements and Ukraine surrenders 20% of their territory and all this happens. Well, let's say in the next Ukrainian city, another Donbass starts. Right? Well, we already think that in 2014, that was a USA-backed coup. And then in 2022, 2023, 2024, well, that was a civil war, right? And Russia just came in to protect people. Well, then who's going to stop them doing it in the future if that same bullshit was allowed to be said before and everybody still believes that? It's going to be like, oh, well, look, the Ukrainians are up to their genociding again. I wonder if they have more Nazis, another Azov battalion doing it. It's like, okay, well, this is fucking stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why you build this foundation. Fuck Chomsky, okay? I hate him with like every fiber of my being, but this is manufactured consent, essentially. So what you do, you manufacture this before they do it, right? You manufacture this idea of, for example, Zelenskyy dictator.
Yeah.
That talking point appeared way before, actually, this conversation, right? And it started to be more prominent in MAGA, in pro-Russian crowd, media people. Why exactly? Because now they use it like crazy.
Yeah.
They're like appealing to it. Even like
you see Tucker Carlson, saying like, oh, he hasn't had elections. He's an unelected dictator. He's just as bad as Putin. And it's like, come on, bro, really?
So you're building this why? You're building this to destroy idea for the American population that you're fighting for democracy. Because if it's not democracy, it's just two dictators, dishing it out.
Exactly.
Who cares, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what you do. That's smart. That's very smart, actually. I appreciate their smartness on that regard. And it works really well for people, it seems, especially in the United States. Because guess why? I'm not going to say this.
Because the U.S., historically, we're retarded. But part of it has to do with, unfortunately, is just because, and the conservatives across Europe don't seem to have bitten off this talking point as much yet. But in the U.S., we're just so far removed from things that at the end of the day, we just don't care as much because it's not, which is annoying as fuck.
The further away you're removed as well, it's much easier to sell like a lie because you don't really have the context to like say anything about it. And so you have the election talking point. move it like crazy, like it's everywhere. The election talking point.
The
and
election
now
talking
Trump
point, the banning of the Russian language, the banning of all the Russian churches, the banning of all the political opposition. Meanwhile, as much as you don't like them, what happened to Navalny? What happened to, it's just, it's very, very, very frustrating. There's always why, and people get mad at me on my stream sometimes, or I don't think they do anymore because I've stressed it so much. When people are like, why do you come down so much on this little lie? It's because when you tell 20, 30, 40 little lies, it makes it very easy to just believe a crazy thing down the line because you've been told so many little lies. It's prepared your mind to accept it,
That's true. That's a build-up. You do this build-up, and you need to create this kind of a vision of a whole situation, and then people rely on it, and they also filter everything they hear through this system of understanding they already built. So that's basically how you do good propaganda, not lame ass propaganda.
So somebody would have spread a rumor tomorrow that Zelenskyy had a political opponent assassinated for being Russian. Okay, well that makes sense because he already banned the language, he already banned the churches, he already is a dictator. Exactly. It's okay, sure, it makes sense.
Yeah, if you hear it without that foundation, you'll be like, is it true? I don't know, right? And then you hear with already existing foundation, and it kind of makes sense in that world you created, right? So people just believe it, just like that. And and this is the situation. I was super duper, I will be honest, super anxious that Zelenskyy will cave, especially because we are in a quite difficult, desperate situation. So losing United States as an ally is pretty catastrophic, and because of that, I was obviously scared. And a lot of Ukrainians were like, "Oh my God, he's going to are they going to force us to?" Yeah, I told you before, we spoke before, even Trump started doing any of that, I predicted pretty much everything correctly. I was like, they're going to try to force us to surrender. They're going to present it as a peace achieving thing. They're going to cave to all Russian demands because it's much easier to press us than them.
Yeah, I thought that was going to happen. To be fair, even I didn't assume, and I have really bad assumptions, even I didn't assume that Trump would go for a racket tiering deal, an exploitation, we're taking all their, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I didn't predict that, I will be honest. That I didn't predict. The extortion, I didn't predict. But good old racketing, reminds me of the good old corruption days here. But point is that it's just he will try to... you can't really have anything with Putin. You have to just give him everything he wants, right? So it's much easier to press us because we are the party being invaded and we are dependent on Western armaments, while Russia obviously, isn't. So you pressure us. You make us accept the shittiest deal of all time, which I didn't know that it would be. We give us nothing. We will give you nothing, but we will also steal $5 billion. I didn't know that will happen, but I thought it would be some sort of shitty deal.
At that point, I'll just surrender, and I just won't give you guys anything. Why the fuck do I need you to help me surrender with worse conditions than if I would just surrender on my own? What the fuck? Yeah,
the worst deal ever. Worst deal ever. Art of the deal, my guy. Really? So that's just basically. I did hope that Trump will at least try to be posed as a little bit of a strongman and maybe try to at least make some sort of concessions, if not downright security guarantees for us, but at least maybe a teeny tiny little bit concession from Russia on something. But it's nothing. It's just Ukraine give Russia everything and also give us all your rare earth minerals and shit. That's it. That's the condition.
He's not a straw man. He's just a bully, right? That's why he had so many tough words for Hamas, but he has nothing to say to Putin at all. And it's just ridiculous. All he has to say about Putin are nice things. It's all he has to say. Yeah.
Lots of things to say about us, though. Yeah, but that's a whole other thing, right? And I thought this would they do. Yeah, no, NATO obviously, so they can invade again as soon as they're ready. Which for them, their dream is Chechnya scenario, obviously. So they lost first Chechen war. They couldn't really achieve any of their goals, and they lose mad numbers of people and mad numbers of equipment, just like they did now. And they weren't really prepared for the resistance that Chechen people would pull out, just like we basically identical to our situation here. And then they were like, okay, so we signed this shitty peace deal, ceasefire, and then we wipe our ass with it as we usually do, and then we attack them in 4-year time when we are much better prepared, which is exactly what they want. now. So
and then I don't understand why, and Richard wouldn't really answer this either, when people make these arguments about why can't we do anything, well, because of World War III or nuclear weapons, it's like, okay, well, how does that change then if a NATO country gets attacked? Or like, none of those arguments are going away. So how can you use this argument and then say, well, you know, well, if they attack a NATO country, it would be a lot different. Why? So for a NATO country, you're all okay with nuclear winter, or you are okay with World War III, or like what is that? You know, you wouldn't be, right? They'd use the exact same arguments.
Yeah, you either are okay like with the potential threat of nuclear, or are you not? So that's just, you have to like kind of like commit to that sort of thing. Obviously many people are not, which I mean I understand, like not want to risk like our, you know,
well, no, you shouldn't even give that understand, because like what do you like in what world, the way that you don't have these issues pop up is people need to know that if they fuck around, that there's going to be consequences. The most dangerous, and people know this when it comes to raising children, when it comes to training a dog, when it comes to setting healthy boundaries in a relationship. If you let somebody get away with bad shit over and over again, there's never been a point where it's like, well, just give in to your child when they act unhinged this time, and it'll be fine in the future. Or let your dog, you know, bark and bite people, and it's okay. Like he'll behave in the future. No, it doesn't. You're just setting up for this behavior to have a more dramatic confrontation down the road. Like that's always what happens. But
that's why I brought Sudetenland to you, to just explain that people back then used this, like that Hitler will not go any further. Why would he? He will just stop at the Sudetenland. Then he takes Czechoslovakia, and everyone is like, okay, fine. He will stop at Czechoslovakia. Like, it's cool. He will stop there. And then, you know, Poland, Baltics, and etc., right? And all of that is just to say that you first of all, you're folding in front of like nuclear blackmail like a bitch.
Yeah, why would you do that? Yeah, what the fuck? And this is always my thing too, is that like, and I brought this to Richard a lot, why can't Putin ever have to be the one making hard decisions? Why is it always us? Like, Putin is not, for all you want to say about him, he's not crazy. He's not suicidal. He's not unhinged. He's not going to just start, like, the idea that I just have a really hard time believing. I think that there is a world where Putin deploys nuclear weapons to defend Russian territory. But to defend conquered Ukrainian territory, I just don't think China would approve. I think China would not support him in that decision, and he would truly be alone against the world. And I think he would fall out of a window. He'd be on the same flight that Pogorsky or whatever the fuck that guy's name is. He'd be on that flight next. Yeah, that's just unhinged to me. But yeah, he never has to make a hard decision. It's always like, well, they have nukes and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, well, so do we. There's like 4 countries on the other side of this conflict with nukes. What the fuck?
Nobody makes him to make any difficult decision. Like we will never have to find out. Like, you know, what are they like? It's just bluffing. It's bluffing game, and you buy the bluff. Exactly the same strategy, by the way, Trump used. It was like a bunch of fucking bluffing, and you have to like really. It's just a gangster, like stupid ass racketeering shit. It's like it's what they do. Like, unfortunately, Trump as well uses the exact same tactics.
Yeah, but even he's not being respected. Like he said for Hamas, he was like, "Oh, those hostages need to be returned by noon, like 2 weeks ago or whatever." They didn't do shit, and Trump was like, "Well, now Israel can do whatever they want." It's like, they already were, buddy. Like you did nothing. You just look like a retard now. Yeah.
And also, there are people who are like, "Oh, you know, he's just talking shit." Trump, the argument, and I'm like, why is he never talking shit to Russia? Then?
Yeah,
like,
it's always to one side. Like, why can't he say, I'm going to nuke Moscow if the war doesn't end? And then people be like, well, that's just Trump. He's negotiating. He's crazy. He always starts with, okay, fine.
Negotiate. Yeah, art of the deal. Art of the deal is just, you know, bully the fuck out of people who are already in a difficult position like us and can't do much about it, right? Fuck me, dude. It's just so wild. And just the arguments also, like, I just want to bring this up because it infuriated the fuck out of me. He was like, why didn't he attack, like, Richard, I mean, he was like, why didn't he attack, like, Lithuania or Latvia or, like, Estonia now if he wanted it? Well, obviously, because fucking Ukraine is like a Czechoslovakia to him. It's a Plattsdorm. We have a fuck ton of people. We have a human resource that they talk about all the time on Russian media, if anyone listened to it. Because people refuse. They say all of their strategies fucking out loud for some reason, because probably they figured out that you people are retarded and you can't translate from Russian.
Yeah, or even when it's in English. I bring this up all the time too. Like, people will say like, oh no, like he's doing it because of NATO expansion, blah, blah, blah. He literally released a whole ass speech about why he's invading Ukraine. None of it had to do with NATO expansion, right? These are a common people. We have a common soul. Like, Ukraine was part of, like, nowhere in there was like, we were afraid of NATO expansion. Like, why are you using that excuse? He didn't even use that excuse.
they'll be like talking like a human resource, because Ukraine has a large population comparatively to like any other country. And for example, you can have like, first of all, a bunch of soldiers, a bunch of men, just like Hitler used Slovaks, for example, for his invasive operations in Poland. You can multiply your force. You can use other people to die, which is very important for Putin. He doesn't want fucking Moscow people to go die, because that will create a lot of tension. That will create a lot of displeasement. Why do you think he is mobilizing people from
From
out
prisons
of nowhere?
and from, yeah.
Yes. Why he's mobilizing people from Asian parts of Russia, where all the fucking marginalized and poor fucks live, not the rich fucking Russians in St. Petersburg or like Moscow or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Because it's easier to control. The Russia is humongous. If you mobilize, if like 500,000 of fucking Buryats, no offense to Buryats, but you know, like this is like a ethnicity, die, like nobody cares.
I think people don't realize the different ethnic balance of people in Russia as well. That there is like this sounds really bad to say, but like almost like a hierarchy of people that Russians would care about.
Not bad. It's true. It's just exactly the hierarchy, and you can dispose. Those people are disposable. Nobody fucking cares, and they also live like 2,000 kilometers away.
Yeah.
Like who cares? You don't even see their fucking bodies.
Yeah.
It's just you can send them like, and you can do the same with the Ukrainians. You can use them, and they say we will use Ukrainians to attack Baltics, to attack Poland. And you can also add Moldova, which is a small country, but you can still mobilize hundreds of thousands of people there. You can add Georgia. You can use Belarus and Armenia full scale for mobilizing for human resource, right? For mobilization resource. All of that is extremely useful for their imperialist expansionist ambitions. Never mind the fact that we now have a fuck ton of weapons. We are the biggest army in Europe, by the way, just so we're clear, like in numbers right now.
Yeah.
And we have a fuck ton of like experience with the technology now that nobody else has, because we are using drone warfare, we are using all sorts of things that nobody else used before. And it's just so fucking short-sighted, so stupid. Holy fuck. Sorry, that was a rant.
No, I mean, I agree. It's pretty dumb. It's pretty short-sighted. That's just... But I mean, like, America doesn't have like a coherent vision for itself right now on the world stage. So I don't know what Trump envisions America's role as being, you know?
True. But yeah, I mean, speaking on that, I suppose there are like certain ways it can go, obviously. First of all, just to bring a little bit of positivity, I guess. I can use some over here. Yes, it's just that I think that it boosted, not I think, it's a fact, like polls already showed it, and my own conversations with people showed it, that Trump single-handedly boosted Zelensky's approval up back to where it was in 23. So he's incredibly, like now people are like, our boy Zelensky, you know, they're like they're very united against this, like absolutely. They were before this Oval Office thing, but now people are angry. They're not humiliated. They're not upset. They're not sad. They're fucking angry. They're like mad. I never seen such sentiment against the United States and Americans in this country ever. We were one of the few countries in like this part of the world who wasn't really under heavy anti-American propaganda. So we were like pretty positive towards the United States comparatively to other people. And many people in Eastern Europe are actually quite positive to. We were quite positive to the United States aside from Russia.
Yeah.
Exactly the same in Balkans, for example. Serbia hates you, obviously, but the rest of the countries fucking loved you.
I mean, even over on our side of the ocean, like, I mean, we've got like Canadians that are booing us now at fucking games and stuff, and it's just, you know.
And you have so many people that were like your biggest fucking fans, and now they fucking hate your guts.
Yeah.
Like what for? And it's just yeah, it's so fucking weird. But on the positivity note, Zelensky's approval is very high now. We are united, very, very united. There's a lot of anger, which is good. We can channel that shit. That's always good. People were getting a little like dejected and, you know, passive and a little bit less enthusiastic. And now like the donos are rising. People are going like all all out to like help the soldiers more again because they're just so fucking angry. And also Europe seems to be doing something. Like, I'm not sure if that just isn't blah, 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 as they usually do. But at least there's some sort of like protests for Ukraine. At least we're in the public eye again, okay? It's better than nothing. Because since Gaza happened and we haven't been really in like media, in public eye, anywhere. And now people are speaking about us again. They're showing support, which is nice, obviously. And there are also a lot of movements, it seems, in Europe to kind of like at least talk about that they need to be independent from United States in terms of military production and in terms of like security, because they can't really trust today's America align itself with Russia. And also, who knows what the fuck Trump will do about NATO? Like, it's basically in the air whether NATO will exist or not in the future. So because of that is especially like Baltics are shitting themselves now.
Yeah.
because of the have you seen him do? He did the Finkelstein smirk. He was like asked about Poland. And he's like, yeah, I love Polish people. They are the most outstanding people out there. I am very committed to Poland. And they're like, what about Baltics? And he's like, the Finkel
Well,
smirk.
I think the issue is I don't think he actually even knows what the Baltics are, to be fair.
You think?
Trump? No, I don't think
You think?
so. Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Oh, so it wasn't like I don't give a fuck about the Baltics. I don't
He
know
probably
what it
has
is.
literally no idea what that even means. Yeah, so who knows?
Oh no.
Yeah.
He did say they're in the tough neighborhood, whatever the fuck that was
Well,
about.
I think when he said they're in a tough neighborhood, I don't know if he was mixing them up with like the Balkans, maybe. Cause when he heard that, I literally have no idea. I don't think he has any idea though.
Well, maybe I overanalyzed that, but I do think that many people, I don't think I actually read like what they say. A lot of people on the Baltics are now like saying that if they are invaded, America will do shit.
Yeah.
Like, and they don't believe there's already this precedent in Eastern Europe, especially, for example, of West doing a middle finger to us and, selling us out to preserve relations with like dictators and bigger countries and all that sort of thing. So it's not that there's already like bajillion precedents of that. So people are angsty. And I feel like even France is like not pleased. And like UK, I don't know, it's kind of like difficult to say, since they ejected themselves from European Union for the most retarded reasons ever. So I'm not sure like exactly what they will do in this situation. But many people are hopeful that Europe will, get its head out of their ass and actually like full scale commit to us, because we are the fucking defenders of Europe, okay? I mean, it's self-aggrandizing. I never spoke like that before because I was humble and demure, okay? But fuck that shit. Didn't help me. So it's just, we are the fucking meat shield, okay? We are the meat shield that Europe has now. And just invest in the fucking meat shield, okay?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean,
Dude,
yeah, I agree. It's going to come down to whether or not Europe is. I mean, like they've been talking about it for a while. I mean, really since 2016, 17 with Trump about being more independent from the United States. It's just it's a tough world to imagine where the U.S. has, for no reason as well, just separated itself from Europe, like for no reason.
Yeah, but it's not Europe's fault though.
No, I agree. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like for no reason. Like nothing bad Europe hasn't done anything to the U.S. And the U.S. isn't even really doing it for a coherent reason. It's just because of on some retarded dude's whim. Like, yeah. Because this is going to be worse for everybody involved. It's not like when this relationship falls apart. It's not like the U.S. is going to be so rich and powerful as a result of it. Like we're making ourselves worse off too. So it's all just like fucking retarded. Yeah.
Do Americans understand that though? Because so many of them behave like we owe you everything, you owe us nothing. Like we basically are so dependent on you. Well, Europe, I mean, not Ukraine, right? Europe. But you are not like gonna have any problems, and they can do whatever the fuck they want, even if all the relationships, economic, political, diplomatic, are going to break down. Like
yeah, I mean, it took even in World War I and II, like America was still pretty isolationist, right? It took attacks against us in both wars for America to find like, okay, well, fuck. Maybe the stuff going on in Europe actually does kind of impact us. And Trump saying like, well, there's an ocean between us is actually really fucking stupid. But who knows? Like, it's just, yeah, no, the people, because it's hard to understand like what you get from the status quo. So you just hear this statement over and over again. We spend all this military money, so fuck Europe. We don't get anything from them. So okay, I guess we should just fully separate. So who knows? Maybe when prices go up on everything, or if Russia starts conquering everything, and the U.S. has to respond. I don't know. Yeah, it's just stupid.
Dude, like all those World War III avoiders, are going to not avoid it, but cause it.
Yeah, it's the Chamberlains, right? Like, I mean, what are you gonna? Yeah. Oh, maybe we just keep giving all this stuff. We'll avoid it, and then when it finally happens, they'll be like, well, who could have ever seen this coming?
Who could have thought? Yeah. Fuck me, and now it's us again. People throw under a bus.
Yeah.
Again. Why? Why is it always us? It just must be a curse. I don't know. It's truly horrible. I hate every second of it, but at the same time, I am kind of relieved because it kind of is over now. I hope we all accepted that the United States is not our ally and we will move on. Yeah. It's just my hope. And my biggest, I'm an atheist, but I am praying. I will not gonna lie. I am praying for one thing only, is to United States to basically just fuck off at this point. Like I just want them to not assist Russia. Okay.
Sure.
I want them to just not do anything. So I want Trump to basically be like, which seems to be what he's planning to do, at least in my opinion. If I'm wrong in the future, okay, I'll accept it. But my prediction is that he will just go talk with Putin. Basically, nothing will be. They will just pat each other, and kiss the face and all of that. Putin will say how big of a genius Trump is, so he can talk about this for years next on. And then they will pretty much shift on nothing. We will, thank fuck, also not accept any of the deals and the surrender, hopefully. And then they will just, abandon all aid and say it's all Zelensky's fault because Putin and Trump wanted peace, but Zelenskyy didn't want peace because he's an evil dictator who is money laundering like operation or whatever the fuck Elon says these days. And they will be like, well, I'm back. Peace failed, but it's not my fault. It's all Zelensky's fault. Back to golf and to destroy your country. So
I hope that's the case. I hope that it isn't the case that because Trump and Putin are such close friends, I guess, that Putin is able to pressure Trump into pressuring Europe into not working, to end or to support Ukraine, right? Like if Trump starts to unilaterally lift sanctions, or if Trump starts to sanction Europe or tariff them more, if they could do, I hope that type of stuff isn't.
That's my fear. Yeah, that's my biggest fear. Like, I'm not really as afraid of them moving away from the whole thing entirely. I am very afraid they will actually actively assist Russia. That's what I'm super duper afraid of, because at this point in time, it's silly. It's kind of cringe to say, but the best case scenario is them that just fucking off. It's the best case. If they actually are starting to actively work against us and blackmail Europe, pressure Europe, do coercion, difficult word, coercion, and do all of that, then we are very fucked. We are even more fucked than we are now fucked, which is plenty already. So,
also, just curious, were you impressed that that Zelenskyy could actually speak the English language? Crazy that he didn't need to do it in Russian like he did with Lex, huh?
Oh. I mean, no, I wasn't. I know that's how he speaks now.
Crazy. Crazy how that worked out that way, huh?
Fucking Friedman, dude, that tweet he then deleted.
I think he said two of them now, tweeted and deleted, and
What a bitch.
Wow, you want to talk about a surprising set of tweets? My goodness, did you see Konstantin?
Konstantin? Oh, kissing. No? What did he say? I didn't see it.
Yeah, he tweeted out that there is a dictator in Europe who's banning religions and assassinating political opponents, who's making the war in Ukraine last forever, and his name is Vladimir Putin. I saw it. I was like, Jesus, wow.
Ooh, not bad. Although, fuck him anyway. But, that's not bad. Yeah. Also, you actually spoke. I saw. I didn't listen, but I saw you spoke with the actually not that bad Russian recently. Pyotr. Yeah.
Who?
You spoke with him?
That guy. Yeah.
I mean, it was funny that you asked a guy. I don't agree on everything with him. There's a lot of things I think he's shit on, but and he's as much as Russian as I'm Greek. Okay,
sure.
So not that much. He doesn't even speak the language, considering how badly he pronounced Kharkiv, Prigozhin, and all the other things. So I assume he's basically British, but with Russian, ethnic heritage.
Sure.
But he's not the worst thing ever to speak with. But it was funny that you asked what his ethnicity is with that name. I think it's Pyotr Kurzin. It's
you just said his name and I didn't even connect it to the thing that I've read because I can't pronounce any of that.
Yeah, it's just very funny when you asked it. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. That's so American that he doesn't know that's a Russian by the name. But yeah, it's just I will.
They're all white people to us, okay?
Yeah, okay. I will, though, listen to. Hey, wait a second. You're the blue-eyed one. That's supposed to be the barometer of, I'm actually. Oh, people actually recently, like, there was like anti-me post, basically, and they were like, your Asian features. I'm like, bitch, what Asian features are you talking about? Yeah, it's just, not that I mind, if I had Asian features, who cares? But it's just that it's so funny that, this lexicon is back, basically, on trend, calling Eastern Europeans either gypsies or Asians or something like that. That's pretty funny, I will say. Like, yeah. Well, yeah. So what's your prediction, Mr. Bonnell?
I don't know. I'm not like up to date as much on like European politics or where everything's at in Europe. I know that the left is gaining more strength in Canada as a result of Donald Trump.
AfD kind of lost. That's good. That's in Germany. I mean,
I don't know if in Europe, if they're ready truly to start. I think wasn't there a big conference? Was it today or yesterday? Or something coming up to where they're supposed to make some decisions. So I guess we'll see what that future looks like. And I'm just praying that, that Trump is not involved in trying to sabotage any of it. I don't know if he would be, but Jesus.
I feel like my only hope is that there will be a little bit of too much backlash, maybe, if he full-on starts to assist Russia, like blatantly. From the American people, maybe, but I'm not sure at this point, to be quite honest. Where the fuck do they stand? Because you have been talking like so much about like we have guns, to deal with the tyrannical government and all of that. And I think you have guns just to shoot at school kids after all, because it seems like it's really like in Europe right now. There's like huge, insanely big protests in Greece. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but they're like humongous, like millions of people participating all over the country in all cities almost, and with no guns. Like with just Molotov cocktails and bats like we do it over here, and people are fighting the police like crazy right now, and they're like full on protesting the corrupt government, right? The overreach of power, the corruption, all of that. And I'm not saying it will lead to anything necessarily. I learned that Maidan was unique in the sense that we actually won.
Yeah.
This doesn't usually happen, but because we are persistent assholes, we kept on it for 3 months. So
I don't know where like Antifa went, or I mean, I already see now that there would be no gun protesting against a tyrannical government because the people that are all pro-guns also support the tyrannical government. So we're just I mean, true, but just don't know. Just very sad, to be honest with you, like to see this. But I'm also kind of like I'm not entirely desperate and not entirely hopeless, because I still have a little bit of hope that Europe will not fuck us over this time. But there is a precedent, okay? They fucked us over gas, literally, with Merkel. So I'm not really sure that we are worth it to them at the end of the day. So they may choose appeasement, and especially with the pressure from the United States, because I don't know, like I'm not sure like how it will play. There is a future in which they actually do strong production of weapons. They support us full scale because they have fuck ton of money compared to Russia, European Union, I mean. Yeah.
But they don't have, for example, the arms as much. So maybe they will like ally with Turkey or some shit. Turkey is making moves now to maybe suggest their biggest army in NATO after United States. So there is like that as well. Of course, they also produce drones and helicopters and like a bunch of stuff, planes as well, that I believe don't have American details in them. American like parts, not details, parts. Because, for example, the biggest shit is that the United States can actually prohibit many countries selling us stuff because they have parts
of the deals,
that are. Yes. That's what. No offense to your boy Biden, but that's kind of what they did with Storm Shadows. Because France and UK wanted us to give us permission to use them long range, but America said no, and they because they have parts that are United States production. So there's like a lot of influence there, obviously. So that's a very, very, very dicey thing. I didn't think we will have to say fuck you to two empires at the same time, but apparently that's what's up these days.
Yeah.
Well. Carry on, I guess.
Yeah. Well.
That's what we do, I suppose. One thing I am happy about, though, is that people are at least a little bit hyped up. Also, do you see that motherfucker like Trump? Macron corrected him, and he still repeated the exact same shit again with Zelenskyy later on.
Yes, although I was really happy to see somebody finally fucking correct Trump on how much money the U.S. has given. But yeah, it doesn't matter for conservatives. They don't live in reality. They'll get fact-checked on a thing. Fact-checkers, they don't even believe in fact-checkers. So they'll get fact-checked on a thing, and then they'll continue to say the same stupid shit over and over again.
Also, can we just appreciate how subhuman they think we are? Because when Macron interrupted him, like put his French baguette hand on his he did it in a very French way. I must appreciate that.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, excuse me, sir, like it's not true, And he go off on that, and you see Trump, like he looked like he ate shit, but he didn't say anything that much. He just said like, if you believe that, okay, like and moved on. Mm-hmm. There was no lecturing. There was no putting fingers in Macron's face. There was no like attempts to humiliate and berate because they still have some sort of respect for the West, but they have absolutely none for us. And you can see how they treated Zelenskyy there, and it was difficult.
Yeah.
Difficult to watch, I will admit. Like, yeah, I think he did as best as he could. I mean, Zelenskyy, considering he didn't, smack anyone in the face, it's already the miracle of diplomacy right there, in my opinion. But people say he said "suka blядь." But I under his breath, but I don't see it, to be honest. I'm not sure. I watched the video, but I think it's just speculation. Also, if he did say it under his breath, bless him, honestly.
Yeah.
If he did say it. Also, by the way, it doesn't mean that he called Vance a bitch, although Vance is a bitch, because "suka blядь" is like, fuck me, dude. It's like this. You don't use it to say to other people. You just say it like, it's like frustration.
Yeah, we know. That's one of the only things in the West we know, because Dota players who are Russian say it all the time. Sick of whatever, yeah.
Okay. Yes, that's just you don't say it to, you can call a person suka, which is a bitch, but them together you don't say. It's just an expression of frustration. Although I honestly just don't see him. He mouthed something, but I'm like not 100% sure it was that. But but all of that was just extremely horrible. And the suit and the fucking when Trump said like and the journalist was like, what can you say? How can you guarantee that Putin will not break the ceasefire? And Trump is like, trust me, bro, basically. Just because I'm so awesome, dude. He will not break it because I'm not like all those other lame guys like Biden and Obama. Did he spend like 30% of that talking about Biden?
He's obsessed with the last administration. Yeah, he talks about him constantly.
He's like fucking Hassan up with you. Like Biden is his like constant nemesis that he can't help but shit talk like everywhere.
Yeah, they keep doing that. It's like, bro, you won the election. You know it's over, right? It's okay.
Yeah, who cares? Biden is done. Yeah, it's just so fucking lame. And then the normal journalist is like, well, I just how like will we know like they will not break the ceasefire? What kind of like guarantees can you give? And he's like, what if anything? What if the bomb falls on your head? And you're like,
what a stupid like it would be so impossible. Like, what if Russia breaks a ceasefire treaty? Oh, come on. What are the chances? Like, if that could happen, anything could happen, right? And it's like, come on, dude, seriously?
Yes, and also people like Richard, for example, were like, I watched the whole thing and it's Zelenskyy who started it. Excuse me, started by what?
Yeah.
He literally just
by asking any question whatsoever to push back against the insane fucking narratives that are being... And this is after enduring how much abuse from all these fucking losers. Why don't you wear a suit? Like, as Elon Musk is literally parading around the White House in the dumbest clothes with his, like, crazy child, like, all day, who's picking his nose and smearing it all over the fucking White House desk. Like, bro, come on. Are we being real right now?
What's going on? Why is he using the child as a human shield? I don't understand. Like, what the hell is going on? And also, like, it's just, have you seen? It's a movie everyone laughed at in here. Like, everyone loved that movie. It's Idiocratia, but I don't know how it's called in English.
Oh, Idiocracy or whatever.
Yes. Everyone was like, how funny, like dumb Americans. But it's actually you now. Like it's just you. Yeah. You have a guy with a chainsaw. You have.
Oh God, yeah.
You have like all of that. It's just you. It became real.
And all he's doing from a domestic point of view, I don't know how much you follow, like, for the detailed American politics, but they keep saying, like, we found all this waste, fraud, and abuse. And, like, all he's doing is just printing stuff that we already know the government spends money on. There's been zero Zero waste, fraud, or abuse so far that's been discovered by Doge. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But for some reason, they're pretending like they found like so much shit. It's so stupid.
More importantly, why the fuck Elon is doing any of that? Who chose that guy? Who elected him?
Yeah, like every time he says unelected bureaucrat, he's really just talking about himself because it's the same.
Yeah, it's just they are just like fraud, abuse. I don't like this wokey like world helping USAID people. So fuck them, I guess.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, USAID really helped us with electrical grid, which is going to be quite big of a trouble because we have like 50% of our electric grid down now because of Russian bombing of power grid. They did help. They did help quite a bit with the restoration work of the electrical grid. And I'm not sure like how that will get us exactly. Although I will be fair though, it's much easier to get aid that is humanitarian than military, obviously. So maybe we can find some other people who can assist with that. But it's quite difficult. I think like a lot of people will unironically die because of the cancellation of USAID in Africa.
People have suffered. Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
Yeah. The disease also, we have such a troubled time in sense of like viruses and disease evolving everywhere, and just pretty fucking bad all over. I don't know. Like, I don't think any honest person can actually look at this and say that Zelenskyy fucking started it, because he was like polite as shit, and he was like, look, like Putin broke this ceasefire, that ceasefire, this ceasefire, like this happened and this happened. So we can't really like make any agreements with him without any insurances because he will break them. Historically, he did. And Vance just goes the fuck off like with this, you're disrespecting him. He's like a fucking gopnik from Russia from the 90s. I don't know if you know what gopnik.
I don't know what it means, but
it's like a thuggish behavior, basically. I mean, it's just people were making funny memes here because back in the 90s, actually, in early 2000s, gopniks used to pick up on people who dressed fancy. So you would go on the street as a man, especially, right? And you will be dressed like good, like, some fancy coat and some, that doesn't have to be feminine, just like, metrosexual, like, kind of like fancy. And they will be picking up and they will come up to you with their tracksuits, with their fake Adidas tracksuits. We call them Abibas with B because they're fake Adidas. Okay. So you would come. Yeah, you will come to the man, right? And they will be like, dude, what are you wearing? Are you an F word? I don't know if you can say that on stream, but you get which one, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, what are you wearing? What is that? Where's your suit? Where's your tracksuit, bitch? And they will try to press the guy, basically. And the guy will be like, oh, fuck, take my money, take my phone, take anything, just don't beat me up. That's basically, was a common occurrence. If you survived that in the 90s, you're the pro. Like if you can't live in Slavic countries back then and not get a beating from gopniks at least once. So that's just it's also a steal in the hat is also a phrase, because they will come up behind you and they will smack your head like away from your head.
Okay.
From your head, and if you react aggressively to this, it will be an excuse to beat you up and take your shit.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, well.
I mean, it's been a while since that happened, and it's also been a while since I saw that, but that was basically like what association we had with this. Also, people were like, oh, so many black people are like coming up saying it's like in the United States that it's cringe how they treated Zelenskyy, and why is that? And I'm like, dude, because he was treated like fucking subhuman trash and told to wear a suit, mind his manners, mind his fucking tone, and they ridiculed and belittled the very real struggle of the people in Ukraine, and of course they found it like pretty rude and fucking offensive. I think they could probably relate to it a little bit, especially like the suit part and the manners part and all of that. They would basically gave him like, you are amongst your betters, okay, pal? You're amongst your betters. Like, shut up and take it.
You
basically.
don't have the cards and all this stupid shit. Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was pretty fucking awful. I mean, I don't know. I think he did, as it was as calm as he could possibly be at the situation like that. So, yeah. Well, that's it pretty much, I guess.
Well. If anything else comes up, let me know. Otherwise, good luck. Hopefully Europe decides to do some crazy shit.
Europe, like, there was like this meme about Donetsk airport, which Russia was like, we will take all of Ukraine in 2014, if only not for that pesky Donetsk airport, because they couldn't cross it, because our volunteer battalions were defending it, and they couldn't go past it, despite the fact that we had nothing back at the time. So yeah, it's just it's the same thing here. Europe is like, now we will, United States is no longer the leader of the Western world. They do not stand for the freedoms. So we have to pick up this mantle, and we have to be the superpower we are. Only if it wasn't for that one Orban vetoing everything. It's just it's just basically that right now, because that motherfucker vetoed aid again. And,
who is he vetoing aid from? From the European Union or from the UN?
Yeah, all the time.
Does he in the European Union? Is that like a single, like one person can fuck it all up?
Yes.
Or? Oh, well, that's not good.
I don't know why. Like, brother, like the ancient Greeks invented like thing called democracy, and like the people, the majority vote. It should be the thing, like majority people support it, and you have one motherfucker. Putin bought one motherfucker, and it's enough. It's enough to ruin the entire fucking thing. And he has also a substitute Orban, which is Fico, whoever the fuck he is, from Slovakia. So that's a substitute Orban. If Orban fails, you have this guy. So it's absolute, like, why are we still in 3 years in dealing with fucking Orban?
Yeah.
There's such a thing as Article 7, that you can eliminate a country from voting in European Union if they do not abide by the shared values of the European Union. They sabotage the voting system in European Union, and they in general do not comply by the consensus. Why not use that? Why not show some fucking balls? Instead, they're spit roasted by one fat fucking corrupt wannabe dictator from fucking Hungary, of all places.
Yeah.
No offense to Hungary, but it's not France, okay? Mm-hmm. So it's just why? Ugh. Fucking kill me, dude. Hate that shit. Well, anyhow. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Good luck with everything.
A therapy session. I'm sorry, I will not be paying you, but it was very, very nice to actually vent a little bit about everything, because I don't have that much like invites now. I do have a panel on Wik TV like in a couple of days to argue with some unimaginable retards about this whole situation that are conservative.
Do you know the names of them? Who it is?
I know there will be Lactoid dude, and I don't know the other dudes, but I just predict they will be retarded because they will be MAGA, obviously. So you don't have to be like a Nostradamus to predict how that will go. Dom de Bambas, Zelenskyy is buying Cartier bracelets for his wife, all that.
By the way, that would have been the talking point. If he would have shown up in a nice suit, it would have been like, oh, what happened to this guy's track uniform? I guess he loves all that U.S. money that he's been spending on expensive suits. Like, people would have tried to trace the exact thing it looked like to the most expensive suit. Like, that's one thing I wish that people would realize is that, like this happens to me sometimes in debates where the person I'm debating will be the most bad faith person ever, and they'll lie like 780 times and I'll get one thing wrong, and people are like, well, if Destiny would have just not messed this up, it would have gone so much better. It's like, come on, like if that's all it takes, like there's no world where if you would have just done this one thing differently, everything would have been okay. Like, that's bullshit. Like, yeah.
They got him there to goad him. There was never any to show. They just wanted to provoke him to then say to American people, look, this ungrateful dictator cunt that is stealing all of your taxpayer money. We will not help him because of this. Mm-hmm. It's just fucking easy to say. Like, yeah, Trump literally is like, I let this go on for so long so the American people can see what a like ungrateful cunt you are, essentially. Like, right? It's just fucking obvious. There was never any. Zelenskyy tried to make that fucking deal because we are in a very bad position. But he also he would be hated as fuck in Ukraine if he signed a deal without any guarantees whatsoever. Like,
just
he can't
signing
really
over part of your resources. Yeah, how stupid would that be?
Yes. He did say, I believe, like at one point, like, why am I signing why should I sign so many? So it's just you gave us actually like 65 billion in military aid, and more with humanitarian aid, with all and like I believe like 60 or 70% of your military aid actually went to you. To your like your factories producing arms, hiring people, producing newer stuff instead of the older stuff you gave to us. So we are supposed to give you for 65 billion in military aid. We're supposed to give you 500 billion.
Yeah. Without even getting without even getting anything back from Russia. Yeah. Like it's stupid.
I would say signing a shit like that is a betrayal.
For sure, 100%.
So I'm happy that Zelenskyy obviously didn't do it, and most of Ukrainians are happy. But who cares what we think, though? Nobody gives a fuck. We don't think at all, apparently. We are all conscripted and thrown in the meat grinder.
Yeah, the meat grinder, yeah.
Fuck those bitches. I hate them so much. I hate them so much. And I hate how little they think of us and how fucking awful it feels. It's just, anyhow. Fuck that shit. But, well, therapy session was good. I'm gonna go, and I hope I'm not... I just want to survive out of spite, okay? Out of spite at this point. Just to rub it in to everyone's faces. But we shall see if that works out well for me or not. Yeah, well, bye-bye.
Good luck.
Nice talking with you again.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And yeah, have a lovely, lovely day.
You too. Be careful.
Bye-bye.
Bye.